What's up? Welcome back, guys. As you guys know, the off-season's in full swing. Now that the combine's wrapped up, some of us spent our entire weekend watching grown men run around in their underwear, doing athletic drills and throwing balls around to other grown men in their underwear. One player in particular really jumped off the board to me this weekend, guys. Like everybody else, I'm now super high on AR-15.
This went from 6 to midnight.
Boys, you know that I'm a Jared Goff truther. And you guys know that I think AR-15 is a massive project player. But hot dog, fellers, if that project hits, that is a hell of a project to hit on. And I just don't know. I don't know if I'd be willing to pass up that opportunity at 6, lads. I mean, you got the Raiders chomping at the bit directly behind you, and that feels like a real good fit for them. I'm honestly considering drafting AR-15 at the 6th overall spot. And with free agents landing at their new homes, it means that teams are going to be changing up their draft strategy. What does this mean for our mock drafts? Well, boys, I promised you mock drafts. Let's get into a mock draft here. I love doing mock drafts, and boy, we're going to be having a lot of them coming at you leading right up until the draft. There isn't a lot of news to go on. I'll bring it to you as it comes down the pike, but this is going to be Mock Draft 2.0, that's right, 2.0, and I will allow myself to make one trade during this draft. Will I trade out of 6? Will I trade out of 18? Who knows? Let's get into it, boys. Hey, fellas, real quick, though, before we get too far down the line and this train gets rolling out of the station, do me a favor, go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so that you never miss out on any notifications. And now you can become part of the Hat and Beard Gang. Alright guys, so here we are. We're again using the PFF Mock Draft Simulator. These will be our settings that we're using right here. We're going to go through all 7 rounds, sitting at 6 with the Detroit Lions. I would like to apologize for the sound. The audio comes in weird like this when I'm screen recording, and my sinuses are a little jacked right now. So, it is what it is. If you guys stick through it, I think we'll have some fun here. So, this will be Mock Draft version 2.0, and in this draft scenario, I will be allowing myself one trade. Will it be trading out of 6? Will it be trading out of 18? We'll see. You know, I'm just interested to see how PFF's draft boards have shifted and the public boards have shifted now that the draft combine is wrapped up, and you know Derek Carr is now a New Orleans Saint, and you know good on Carr, man, for real, good on Derek Carr. I'm a low-key Derek Carr fan. I think he really showed professionalism and grit for many years with the Raiders organization, and they did him dirty. But you know that's what Josh McDaniel does, man. That's what he did in Denver. Josh McDaniel's kind of a butthead, and he likes to blow up teams. It's quite astonishing that people still think he's a good fit for an organization. But we're not here to worry about them. You know, Geno Smith got his bag, so the Seahawks will probably be out at a quarterback spot at 5. That leaves a few teams hungry for quarterbacks, you know, possible trade material. The Raiders at 7, the Falcons at 8, you know, doable. As it sits right now, the Jets are probably flirting with Aaron Rodgers. I don't see them necessarily wanting to trade up for a quarterback. And in a scenario where a defensive player falls like a Jalen Carter or, God forbid, Will Anderson falls at the 6th spot, I don't think it would be wise for the Lions to trade out of the 6th spot and go all the way back to 13 with the Jets if one of those 2 players is still available, regardless of what quarterback is still possibly on the board, unless the Jets are willing to give up a lot of draft capital. I'm talking their 13th pick, next year's first-round pick, and then probably a 4th-round pick this year, you know, just to get more capital. But let's shake it all out. Let's see where things go, and let's start this draft. Let's light this candle, fellas. Remember, I'm only going to allow myself to trade one time. And what I'm looking for to trade is going to be probably to get back into the 4th round again, first round picks, and back into the get back up into the 4th round, maybe move a couple of picks in the 6th round. We'll see. Let's just get it going. Let's see how it shakes out, and let's see what happens in the top 5. Okay, so. Okay, alright. So, what we got here is a very interesting situation. We see Jalen Carter go number 1 overall. Anthony Richardson going number 2 to the Texans. Over Bryce Young. Over CJ Stroud. Which, you know, I'd be lying if I haven't said I've seen that happen in a couple of mock drafts people have done. He had a showing out at the Combine. He really did, guys. He really went ham at the Combine and elevated his draft stock. Will Anderson going to the Arizona Cardinals is, that seems like a solid situation, good fit. And with Anthony Richardson going number 2, that means, that leaves the Colts here. They don't have to make any moves at all. They can just sit right here at 4 and have their pick of these 2 guys, Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. In this draft, they opted to go with Bryce Young. I've seen them go the Will Levis route, even though Will Levis looks like he has shit permanently stuck on the top of his lip. I'm avoiding Will Levis because he has shit on his lip. And apparently the Colts are too, going with Bryce Young, the former Heisman Trophy winner. And we see the Seahawks, despite having just signed Geno to an extension, we see them going with CJ Stroud here. To be honest, I was impressed with CJ Stroud. I thought he had a great combine. He threw the ball exceptionally well. And, we all kind of talk about AR-15 like he is the second coming of Megatron with his overall size. But really, when you see him and CJ Stroud stand next to each other, there's not a lot. I mean, there is a size difference, but it's not this, like, David and Goliath-esque size difference between the 2 guys. So we're sitting here at 6, and here we are with just anybody we want to take here, really, other than Jalen Carter or Will Anderson, which, let's be honest, I was hoping one of these 2 would slip. They didn't. And, in reality, it's looking like the Bears will probably trade out of number 1 anyway. So, we're sitting here, we're looking at Mr. Shitlip himself, Will Levis. We got, Devin Witherspoon. I took him at the 6th spot last time. I don't know if that's the route I want to go, just to try and change things up. Tyree Wilson slides to us. That's a solid player right there. Christian Gonzalez. Quentin Johnson. Look, if you guys want to just keep drafting wide receivers and just have the best wide receiver class or core in the entire NFL, Quentin Johnston would be your Quentin Johnston would be your guy. My man balled at the Combine. He balled at TCU. I don't understand why people are like, he catches with his body. I seen him make wonderful hand catches all through the Combine, all through his tape. What I see here is a dominant physical wide receiver who can go up and make plays. Peter Skoronski. This here is an interesting player that we could look at. He's a versatile offensive lineman that can play guard and tackle. Now, why would I consider taking Skoronski at 6 here instead of a Gonzalez, instead of a Witherspoon? One, I'm not really high on taking a corner in the top 10. Jeff Okudah just has left such a bad taste in my mouth that it's hard for me to really want to go and grab that guy. Where I'm really leaning right now is Skoronski or Kalijah Kancey. Brian Branch is too high for me to take at 6, although he is a dynamic, versatile defensive player. Again, I'm running into the defensive back problem, taking a DB in the top 10. Bad taste in mouth. I'm looking at Skoronski. He can play guard and tackle. Why am I concerned about guard and tackle? Well, guard is a position of need right now. We can get a rookie contract with a rookie player that can develop into a starter because he is a good tackle that can play the guard. So you plug him in at guard, And he's essentially there to move to right tackle when Taylor Decker's contract is up, and he's going to need to be paid a lot of money, so we're probably not going to go and re-sign a Taylor Decker. So Penei Sewell moves from right tackle back to his natural position at left tackle, and you just slide now a seasoned Peter Skoronski, who's on his way to becoming a perennial All-Pro, from the right guard to the right tackle. He becomes the second coming of Lane Johnson, and we have the two best tackles in the NFL for the next 10 years. Penei Sewell's on his way to the Hall of Fame, and Peter Skoronski is an unsung hero because all through his career in Detroit, he will be overshadowed by the dominant play of Penei Sewell, but us real heads would know that Skoronski makes a major impact. Calijah Kancey benefited from Jalen Carter dealing with some legal issues that he had to kind of leave the combine for. And, you know, honestly, guys, Jalen Carter, when it first popped off against Jalen Carter, I was a little harsh on him. Not, you know, I wasn't like harsh, but you guys, you got to understand, I'm kind of conservative, and I was like, oh, I don't know about that. It brought up a lot of questions about his personality, about the cut of his jib, if it were, the fact that he left the scene. But after a few days of me being able to process it and really kind of think it through, you know, I was a 21-year-old kid once, right? And we all make mistakes, and if I'm being honest, I got to hold people accountable. He wasn't the person driving the vehicle with a .197 blood alcohol content that flipped the vehicle. I feel awful for the people that died. I feel even worse for the other player that died. But it wasn't Jalen. That wasn't Jalen Carter driving. That wasn't Jalen Carter drinking and driving. So I'm not going to hold Jalen Carter's feet to the fire too hard. He owned up to it. He immediately went back to Athens and dealt with the legal issues. And, you know, not for nothing, but when the players, I could give a shit less what Todd McShay has to say about his personality. The players at Georgia have quite a lot of good stories about him. And, you know, he seems like a pretty stand-up guy. That all being said, Calijah Kancey had a wonderful workout at the Combine, now that I just opined over Jalen Carter for the last 2 minutes. Calijah Kancey had a massive boost to his draft stock at the Combine, worked out great, threw up a lot of reps on the bench press. But I want to see what we can do about finding a trade and what we can do about trading out here. So let's take a little looky-look. Okay, all right, so Atlanta. Alright, well, I like that. So, Atlanta gave up everything that I wanted. Alright, I traded back 2 spots, got back into, looks like the 4th round, the 3rd or 4th round. Either way, we amassed a bunch of extra picks here by sliding 2 spots back with Atlanta. They're probably going to go after a Will Levis because he slipped out of the top 5, and there was a run on quarterback. So they got hungry. They wanted to get up ahead of the Raiders here. You know, hey, maybe they're going after Quentin Johnston. Maybe they're going after Tyree Wilson. But if I was a betting person, I would probably say they were getting hungry for Will Levis. Now, we made out like a bandit here. This is insane, man. We are getting a lot of fucking picks here. So let's get on with it and see what they did here. Quentin Johnston. Okay, all right. So Will Levis is having himself a bad day. He went from being argued as the first overall pick to just sliding all the way down to 8. We're going to go ahead and probably just not make a move here. And we're going to see what we want to do at 8. Again, I'm limiting myself to 1 trade. But this would be a situation where, you know, I would probably, again, pick up the phone and see who's calling. Like, let's see who's calling. Philly's calling. The Jets are calling. The Pats, the Commies, the Bucks. Basically, everybody's calling. You know. Okay, let's see. Witherspoon at 8. I mean, I'm not mad at that. We could look at that. We could go that route. Let's see. So Witherspoon at 8. Gonzalez at 8. Skoronski at 8, Kancey at 8, Branch at 8, Well, there is a lot of depth throughout this whole draft, and I'm probably, in reality, would have tried to get a future first-round pick instead of backloading my mid-rounds here with the 6 to 8 trade. So we're just going to go ahead and solidify our defensive tackle position with the 8th overall pick. We're going to take Kalijah Kancey, who is going to play next to Liam McNeil, and solidify our rush defense, as well as has enough explosiveness to add to our pass rush. So at the 8th overall spot, at a trading out of 6, we're going to take Kalijah Kancey, the defensive tackle out of Pittsburgh. Welcome aboard. Witherspoon just went. Skoronski, Miles Murphy. Oh wow, okay. That's what the commies are trying to do. They got nervous and wanted to trade up. Yeah, okay. So Carolina went with a corner here. They decided to go with, looks like, the best player available with Christian Gonzalez. Can't say that's a awful pick there. They're not necessarily drafting to their weakness. They're drafting to their strengths. Their defense isn't terrible. The Eagles are going to go and solidify their defensive backfield with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson moving on. They're going to bring in Brian Branch, who's really more of a slot corner, not necessarily a safety, although he can play both very well. He's a very hybrid defensive back, just an outstanding player. At the 10 spot, yeah, I'd have gone that route too. That's not a bad spot right there. All right, no one gives a shit. Devin Witherspoon went to 12. Jackson Smith, so the Jets probably in this scenario have signed potentially Aaron Rodgers, and they're looking to add more weapons from the Ohio State wide receiving room. Skoronski at 14. I like that move. Miles Murphy, whatever. See, and that's what the commies are trying to do. They're trying to trade up and grab Will Levis because he could have gone to the Panthers or the Titans, or even the Pats, or even Green Bay, arguably. Paris Johnson going. That's a nice pick right there. I consistently see Pittsburgh solidifying their offensive line in most mock drafts that I do. Well, here we are now at the 18th overall pick, lads, and I think you guys know where I'm going to go with this on account of we have bolstered our interior defensive line with Kalijah Kancey, that we were able to pick up a shitload of picks on the back end, solidify our interior defensive line. I guess you guys know where I'm going with this, right? There's no one else I'm taking other than Joey Porter Jr. Our defensive backfield needs a ton of help. I'm not going tight end in the first round. Deonte Banks, I just don't feel comfortable taking him in the top 20. Not any knock against him. I just like that Joey Porter Jr. has done it more on a bigger stage. I know they both played in the Big Ten, but I just feel like Joey Porter Jr.'s pedigree is a little bit more pristine, sterling, of higher caliber than Banks. Nolan Smith wouldn't be a bad move here. He had a great workout. Broderick Jones, again, you could look at bringing in as a player that you groom and get ready to take over as a starter because the talent's there. Jordan Addison, he's really fallen off here on the draft boards. I thought his workout was okay. Bijan Robinson, do you want to go running back at 18 here? Do you want to go take the running back out of Texas? No, not taking the tight end in the first round. Will McDonald had a pretty good workout. Josh Downs had a pretty good workout. He looked pretty good at the combine. We're not going to go Tanner McKee in the first round. This is not going to happen. Double up at defensive tackle, get Mozzie Smith or Brian Brise? No, you guys know what we're doing. Joey Porter Jr. You guys know I've been high on Joey Porter Jr. since week 8. Torrance went in the second round. Tanner McKee went in the second round. Keely Ringo in the second round. Damn it! Damn it, shit the bed. Damn it, and damn it, shit the bed. Damn it and shit the bed. Dion Henley, damn it, and bed shitting, shit in the... Ah, and Trenton Simpson, damn it, and shit the bed. Shit the bed and damn it, fellas. So, second round, pick 17. Okay. We're looking at, do we double-double? Go corners, double up on corners. Do we go after a Jamar Gibbs? Do we take a Luke Wepler, to bolster? Frank Ragnow does have a bit of a injury history. I think we've talked about that before. Do we want to add depth there? Let's see who else we got. Andre Carter. He went from being a potential first-round pick to really slipping. And again, that's that Army connection. That's really unfortunate for him. Yikes. All right. Well, so there is one player in this group here that I've been very high on for a while, and that is we're going to go guard here with Steve Avila. Probably. Nathaniel Dell had a pretty good workout. Man. We're going to go Steve Avila and bolster our offensive line. We're not going to go FAU here. Ideally, we're going to re-sign James Houston and John Kaminsky. And I mean, unless there's something I'm missing, I haven't seen enough out of him to really garner taking and draft. And now, granted, we would be drafting to our strengths, and it would be another rotationary player. But this situation, I'm looking at adding a little bit of depth and, again, youth to the offensive line. We're going to draft to our strengths and bolster our O-line with Steve Avila. Welcome aboard. Ah, damn it! Darnell Washington, damn it! Damn it. Right there. Yeah. Damn it. I've been trying to be sneaky with, and Garrett Williams. I've been trying to be sneaky with them two guys. Jamar Gibbs. Damn it! Dude, everybody I wanted. Everybody I wanted. Alright, so we got a little bit of a gap here between our picks. Slide on down, see who we got. Could go FAU, Luke Wepler, Dan. All the same arguments for all the players. Now, in this situation, what are we talking? Are we talking, in reality, that the Lions were able to re-sign Deshaun Elliott? And are we assuming that Tracy Walker has a full recovery, comes back, and plays at a high-caliber all-star level? Both of those things probably won't happen. And we've had good luck drafting safeties out of Illinois. Sidney Brown. Sneaky, sneaky Sidney Brown. Gonna pair you up with Kirby Joseph, your former college teammate. Let's go, Sidney Brown. Welcome aboard. We've gone defense, 3 of the first 4 picks? Alright, let's look for linebackers. Drew Sanders. Oh. Man. 6 picks between now and then. Ooh. There's not a whole lot of... Man. So we're going to be in some tough pickings here in the next little go here. Alright, so we've solidified our interior offensive line, drafted the starters on defense at corner and interior defensive line. And then we took a guard and a safety. So we're looking at linebackers. We're looking at defensive ends. Or do we go reach that far down? I don't know. I don't know if our guy Dwayne McBride makes it through this little gauntlet here. Yikes. Yikes, fellas. Well, in this situation, we're going to go who could arguably be the best player available. Let's take the big center out of Wisconsin to bolster our offensive line and give a good backup to... Damn it! Sneaky, sneaky! Sneaky, sneaky. That was... Man, that was one of the guys I was looking to have fall to us. So it looks like quarterbacks are done for us in the draft. Let's take a little look, see by position. See who's available at the quarterback position. Ooh, okay. There's still a handful of guys. Yeah, sneaky, sneaky. I don't know if Tyson Bagnet will be... I did like what Hainer did. I really liked Hainer's workout. The boy can throw the ball. And Stetson Bennett actually didn't look terrible. He didn't look terrible, guys. He didn't look terrible. So let's go back to all. Let's see what we're looking at here. All right, cool. Dwayne McBride. Bam, pull the trigger. Like you. Welcome aboard, Dwayne McBride. Can't stop drafting you. I love me a big power bag. Overshown went. Damn it. Alright, it's going to be getting a little squirrely here, fellas. Oh yeah, we're going to be getting into the weeds a bit. You know, I'm not used to drafting in these rounds because we never have these whole picks. What do you guys think? How about Jalen Jones? We're going to double up at corner. Welcome aboard, Jalen Jones. And then we got two more. We go bam, bam. We go back to back, basically, right? Yeah, we go from 110 to 113. Made that trade with Atlanta. Because those are the two picks from Atlanta, right? They had Tennessee and they had Atlanta. What are you guys thinking? Jair Brown, double up at safety. Let's go and grab KJ Henry. Let's grab KJ Henry, the defensive end out of Clemson. Go ahead and add some depth to the defensive end room. We're kind of drafting for depth here, guys. Except for Noah Sewell just went. That was who I was hoping to snag, was Noah Sewell, but naturally, I should have taken him when I knew he wasn't going to be there. I knew he wasn't going to fall. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? What in the shit brains was I thinking? Alright, lads, so here we are. Kinda getting into it. Go grab a guard. We could grab, a quarterback. We could grab a defensive tackle. Let's see who's out there at the tight end room. Oof. I don't mind taking a tight end this late, you know. It's not the worst thing you could do. Could take Kuntz. Could take Aiden O'Connell. Davis Allen. There's not much in the way of really standout players. Well, you guys know where I'm going with this one. Welcome aboard the Homer, Jacob Slade. Probably could wait on you, but we're going to do it now. Double-double on the defensive tackle position. Damn it, Bryce Ford Wheaton. Man, all these guys I'm trying to be sneaky with, I can't be sneaky with them. This isn't Madden. I can't just expect things to go the way I need them to. So we're at 183. We got 2 picks left. We got this pick and we got our very last pick. Where do we go with this, fellas? Will Mallory, tight end, 6th round. Let's go. Why not take a Miami tight end? Except for one of them, they have a pretty good track record. Ronnie Bell. I wasn't overly impressed with him, but let's take Malik Cunningham. Let's just grab our quarterback. Let's just grab our quarterback with our last pick. Let's check the grade, see what they give us. This probably maybe a B overall on the draft grade. Again, that trade really bolstered our draftability of players and gave us a little bit more flexibility. Gave us a ton of depth. We didn't get AR-15. I mean, he went number 2 overall to the Texans. But that's what's happening. That's what's happening with the boards right now, guys. You know, after the combine, things get crazy. Once free agency kind of, washes through and people land where they're gonna, the boards are gonna shift again. Then you're gonna have, individual workouts. Let's get our draft grade. There's a B plus trade. Overall B plus. Okay, all right. Okay. So Kalijah Kancey at 8 was a bit of a reach by PFF standards. Okay, man, yeah, getting a 3rd and then 2 more 4th round picks. That's a nice little dip for them. Who they go? Oh, they went up and got Johnston, which I like that pick. Okay, so Kalijah Kancey, we really bolstered we went meat and potatoes on this draft, fellas. We went meat and potatoes. We went with a bunch of hog mollies and a bunch of defensive players. I like this. I like this Kalijah Kancey. I don't like the grade here. I know that he's a bit of a reach at 8. Their big board has him at 13. Again, I wasn't going to be able to trade out, and he wasn't going to fall to 18. But by doing so, we bolstered our defense in the run game, in shutting down the run game, something that until we switched to the 4-2-5 defense, where we basically had trash linebackers that couldn't do anything. I mean, Anzalone and Rodriguez did what they could. We needed bigger bodies in the middle, and Isaiah Buggs is good, but Kalijah Kancey is better. Joey Porter Jr., you guys know that I've been in love with him since like week 8 of the regular season. PFF went ahead and give me an A+ for that one. Yeah, because he's an A+ player. You're in a 4.44, 4.40, and he's got long arms. Plus, he's got that name. Joey Porter is his dad. He's got the pedigree. Steve Avila, with our first second-round pick, number 48 overall. I went Steve Avila, the guard out of TCU. PFF went ahead and gave me a B. I'm not necessarily mad at the B grade. That is a pretty solid spot. I think that is a good spot for us to go ahead and pull the trigger on a offensive lineman. Steve Avila doesn't necessarily give you the flexibility of a Storonsky, but I think he's just going to be a solid play. I don't know if he's the type of guy that you re-sign, but I think he'll be able to play through his rookie contract at a relatively high level, and if not, you have depth or a little bit of a project player that could turn into something good. He had a good workout. He played at TCU, which is kind of a goofier system, but I wasn't necessarily mad about it. Sidney Brown in the second round, C+. I keep drafting Sidney Brown. I'm really high on Sidney Brown, and PFF hates him. They hate Sidney Brown. PFF always be dogging my draft. No matter where I pick Sidney Brown, I can take him in the 7th round, and they still give me a C+. They hate Sidney Brown. They refuse to give him a good score, and maybe I'm a fool for taking him there. Joe Tippmann, a steal in the 3rd round. Boom, A- according to PFF. That's a solid pick right there. That gives you, Frank Ragnow doesn't have, he can't stay healthy all season long. That's not a knock against him. He plays an incredibly violent position, and with the injuries he sustained, he's opened himself up to re-injury. I am a huge Frank Ragnow fan. I wish him all the best. I love that he made it to the Pro Bowl, and I hope he makes and plays for a long, long time. But Joe Tippmann, is a solid replacement. You know how nice it was to have Evan Brown be able to come in and play for Frank Ragnow and essentially not miss a beat. And theoretically, Joe Tippmann can do the Evan Brown thing where he could go over and play, slide over to guard if, say, Avila isn't necessarily working out. Joe Tippmann in the third round, a nice solid pick there, an A- grade, just an absolute steal. My other third round pick, Dwayne McBride, he is similar to Sidney Brown, where I'm drafting these guys because I like what I've seen on the tape, and PFF hates them. They absolutely hate these cats. They hate Dwayne McBride. They hate Sidney Brown. They always give me a trash grade on them. Maybe I'm drafting them too early, but hey, I like what I see. Let's get into some our luxury picks here that we got from trading out of the number 6 spot with the Falcons. We got 75th pick, which we took at Joe Tippmann. Luxury solid steal pick there. That's beautiful. And then we got the 110 and the 113, the 2 picks in the 4th round, which I decided to go Jalen Jones, the corner out of Texas A&M, doubling up, doing what Brad Holmes has done, where he'll double up on positions at the draft to almost essentially solidify that one of those guys will hit in some capacity. I don't mean they're going to hit and be superstars in the next coming of a Hall of Famer, but they're guys who can come in and play and get you through to the next season or even the next couple seasons. Jalen Jones, just rock star pick right there in the 4th round, solidifying our defensive back room. That leaves you sitting, if we don't bring in a free agent, with Jeff Okudah and Jerry Jacobs and now Joey Porter Jr. and Jalen Jones. That is just young, potential through the roof, man. Just intergalactic levels of ceiling. Like, where is the ceiling on the defensive back room? And then we went and decided to grab KJ Henry, the defensive end from Clemson. Got a C+ there. Again, these 2 picks were just luxury and solid grades. Solid grades. You build up the defense. I can't stop drafting Jacob Slade out of Michigan State, and I can't stop myself from drafting him probably one round too early. They gave me the C grade here. It is what it is. He can probably come in, compete a little bit, add depth, or be potentially a practice squad player. He wasn't awful at State. He didn't have a great necessarily career, but the program here has been in a lot of turmoil over the past couple of years, and Michigan State is just kind of a dumpster fire as a university is concerned. Will Mallory just went ahead and threw a dart in the dark with my dick on him. PFF hated it. Whatever, could give a shit less. And Malik Cunningham in my last pick, the 194 6th round pick. If you're looking, he's as big as AR-15, roughly. He's got mobility. He's got an arm, not the greatest arm, not the most accurate arm, but he's a 6th round quarterback that you're looking to come in and basically be a backup. Or maybe he's better than a backup. Maybe he ends up being that guy. But you're looking to really just have a guy play behind Jared Goff. More of a, oh shit, Jared Goff just broke his butt and it fell off on the field. Now we need Malik Cunningham to come in and play for 2 weeks while Jared Goff puts his butt back together. But ideally that's not going to happen because our offensive line is super good and we bolstered it with Steve Avila and Joe Tippmann. So Jared Goff will have 2.5 hours on every drop back to throw the ball. And really, we'll be just pounding the rock with our running backs and Dwayne McBride coming in around the goal line because we bolstered and solidified our defense with Cansey and Porter and Brown and Jalen Jones. Man, that would be a fucking steal. If we could back up in the 4th round and decide to go Jalen Jones, that's a fucking steal right there. And then my draft kind of fell off. But Malik Cunningham, I actually really like Malik Cunningham in the 6th round. Hell, you could even probably take him in the 5th round. Maybe. But Malik Cunningham, I thought, wasn't a terrible pick. I was really hoping that Hendon Hooker, you guys know I'm really high on Hendon Hooker. If AR-15 didn't fall to me at 6 and I didn't trade out at 6, I would have pulled the trigger on AR-15. And if he wasn't there, I still would have traded out. I might look to see how much farther back I can trade because now it's looking like AR-15 won't fall to us at 6. And if Carter and Anderson won't be there at 6, I'm just looking to bail and pick up a bunch of picks because, right here, that's why. Joe Tippmann, that's why. Jalen Jones, that's why. That's why I'm looking to trade out. But there's my draft, and let's look at the first round. All right, as you guys see here, Jalen Carter went number 1 overall. Anthony Richardson, number 2 to the Texans. That just kind of blowing my mind, but that would be someone at Houston getting a big old hard on during the combine there. Will Anderson, solid. A little surprising right here. A little surprising. I wouldn't be surprised because they're kind of Seattle and Detroit. We're both kind of falling in that same spot where we're looking for one of these two guys to fall, and neither one of them will. So that's interesting. We traded back with Atlanta. They went with Quentin Johnston. Not mad about that. Tyree Wilson going number 7 to the Raiders is interesting. I'm guessing they brought a free agent quarterback in, or just opted to not go with Mr. Shit Lips, Will Levis himself, because Will Levis looks like he has shit on his lip. We went with Kalijah Kancey at 8. PFF hated it. I loved it. Christian Gonzalez went to the Panthers at 9. We could have gone that route there and had a little bit more flexibility and probably gone, well, either way, if we're not taking a quarterback at the 6th spot, if Richardson isn't there, or if Jalen Carter doesn't fall, or if Will Anderson doesn't fall, no matter how you slice it, we're probably going to go defensive tackle, defensive back, or defensive back, defensive tackle with our first 2 picks, because Kancey or Brise will pretty much be there regardless, and then one of the 4 corners you could take in, be it Gonzalez or Devin Witherspoon or Joey Porter Jr. or even Banks at 18. Brian Branch went at the number 10 spot. At 10, I'm comfortable with it. At 8, I'm not. I know 2 picks seems goofy, but it's just how my brain works. Brian Branch is going to probably end up being a solid player for the Eagles. Lucas Van Ness, I guess if you're really that high on an end there, I think Tennessee probably would look to trade out. They're probably looking to rebuild a little bit here. Witherspoon at 12 is solid. Houston got a lot better in their first 2 picks here, in my opinion. Again, the Jets going with another Ohio State wide receiver. The Pats drafting Skoronski is a perfect fit. I talked about possibly drafting him back here at 8 because he offers a lot of flexibility and a long-term solution at multiple positions. Miles Murphy, again, Packers going defense. Looks like they're just going to bolster up on defense and hope that Jordan Love can get the job done. Will Levis, Mr. Shitlips himself, going to the Washington Commies. Yep, you and Carson Wentz can have the same career trajectory. Hopefully not even as good as his was at the beginning, because you look like you have poop on your lip. Steelers going with Paris Johnson Jr. That's not a bad spot right there. He is, again, a bit of a flexible player, kind of like Skoronski. I've seen Skoronski fall all the way to them here, and Paris Johnson go about in the 11-12 range. And then we went with Joey Porter Jr. You guys know I can't stop drafting Joey Porter Jr. Brian Brise went 19 right after him. Again, I talked about him or Kancey being available if we went, say, with Gonzalez at 8, and things typically fall with Brise or Kancey being available. The Seabags bolstering their O-line, bringing in Broderick Jones. I guess they just went best player available. Georgia players going back-to-back with the Chargers, bringing in Nolan Smith, who had a phenomenal combine workout. I think he is a good pick. I don't think the Chargers are going to be able to afford to keep Khalil Mack, so you bring in a Nolan Smith who can hopefully fill that spot. The Ravens going Deonte Banks. See, I told you he was available. The Vikings going Zay Flowers makes sense there. I'm not mad at that. That makes the most sense. He's a solid player, and the Vikings, now that they've released Adam Thielen, need someone else to play opposite Justin Jefferson, and why not bring in a young, talented wide receiver on a rookie scale contract? Emmanuel Forbes is another player that, depending on how things shake out, we could try and target in the early part of the second round, or if we're trading back. Emmanuel Forbes is a solid player. The Giants bringing in Josh Downs makes sense. They need help at the wide receiver position. Kenny Golladay was just released. He was a fucking piece of shit that they signed out of Detroit, and I'm glad his career trajectory went directly into the toilet. Josh Downs can come in and help bolster that wide receiving room. Bijan Robinson to the Cowboys. Probably they didn't re-sign Tony Pollard and had to move on from Zeke. Zeke is washed up, fat, old, and broken. So Bijan Robinson stays home in Texas and goes to the Cowboys. Jordan Addison gets drafted by the Bills. I've seen these two actually swap before. Jordan Addison, good pick for the Bills, like that. And the Bengals are going to be stupid and draft a tight end in the first round. So have fun, enjoy that mess. Just enjoy that mess. Yeah, no, just a mess. No, want nothing to do with a tight end in the first round. Will McDonald out of Iowa State, good player, solid, fifth-year senior, good veteran mentality going to the Saints, solid fit right there to play with Dennis Allen. Mozzie Smith up in the first round. Yep, I've seen this happen a lot. And this is something that we can look at, that if the Lions decide to really trade around and change things up, maybe you don't go Kancey and Kancey slides, all the defensive tackles kind of slide. Mozzie Smith bumps out of the first round of the second round. There's a good player right there that you can take. You pair him back up with his college teammate, Aiden Hutchinson. He threw the bench up a lot. Dude is a fucking savage, just a massive, massive mountain of a man. And he can really plug the middle. And then the Chiefs decided to go with Dalton Kincaid because why not? And nobody cares about the Chiefs. So there's how the mock draft 2.0 shook out. There's the first round. I traded out of the 6th spot to the 8th spot. And my mock draft 2.0. Here you go. Kalijah Kancey, Joey Porter, Steve Avila, Sidney Brown, Joe Tippmann, Dwayne McBride, Jalen Jones, KJ Henry, Jacob Slade, Will Mallory, and Malik Cunningham. PFF gave me a B+ for the trade and the overall draft grade. Let me know what you guys think down below. Man, fellas, I love doing mock drafts. What did you think? Comment down below. How do you feel? What would you give this draft grade? Do you like the moves that I made? Do you like the players that I picked? What would you have done in my situation? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, let me know if you guys would like to see these videos turn into more of a weekly live stream scenario where I can sit down for an hour or so and really engage with you guys in the chat, and maybe we can talk ourselves through a couple of different mock drafts. There's plenty of weeks before the NFL draft hits, fellas. The Combine just wrapped up. Players are moving up boards and sliding down boards. I'm super excited. I love this time of year, guys. Do me a favor, though, before you get out here, don't do anything I wouldn't do. Have yourself a good rest of the week. Stay out of trouble. And get out of here.
Time to 23 Skidoo. Or should I say, 69 Skidoo.
She said that my pornos were boring.